Step 1. Know your financial baseline. This is the first step to understand how much it actually costs to live. Start by calculating all your essential expenses. This includes rent or mortgage payments, groceries, utility bills, insurance, and transportation costs. Avoid including discretionary things like subscription, eating out, or shopping. You can use a spreadsheet or a budgeting app like You Need a Budget or Mint to track these numbers. According to the widely recommended 50-30-20 budgeting rule, your financial baseline, meaning your essential expenses, should ideally be no more than 50% of your take-home pay. This ensures that you leave enough room for savings and discretionary spending. If it's higher, well, maybe you need to reduce costs or look for ways to increase your income. This number is critical because it gives you a clear picture of how much room you have to save, invest, or enjoy life without falling into financial stress, aka debt. Step 2. Build a quick emergency buffer. Before thinking about investments or big saving goals, make sure you have at least 1 month worth of baseline expenses saved in a high interest, easy to access saving account. This is your quick solution fund. Think of it as your first line of defense. According to a 2023 survey by Bankrate, 56% of Americans can't cover an unexpected $1,000 expense without borrowing money. A small buffer gives you the peace of mind to handle emergencies without derailing your finances. Choose a savings account that offers a competitive interest rate, ideally above 4%, and avoid accounts with withdrawal restrictions. 3. Tackle high interest debt. You see, high interest debt, especially credit card balances, is one of the biggest obstacles to wealth building. If you are paying 20% or more in interest while earning about 4% in savings, you are essentially losing money. Focus on paying down any debt with an interest rate of above 8%. List all your debts from highest to lowest interest rate and concentrate your payment on the highest one while making minimum payments on the others. This is called the avalanche method, and this approach saves you the most money in the long run. For example, say you owe $5,000 on a credit card at 20% interest and only make, say, the minimum payment at $100 per month. It could take you about 8 years to pay it off, with over $4,500 paid in interest alone. If you have more than 1 month of savings and any high interest debt, it usually makes more sense to use part of those savings to reduce or eliminate that debt. Paying off debt is a guaranteed return on your money. Step 4. Contribute to your employer retirement match. If your employer offers a retirement plan with matching contribution, well, this should be your next focus. For example, if your employer matches 5% of your salary, contribute at least that much. This is a 100% guarantee on your investment, something you won't find anywhere, not in savings and most especially not in the stock market. In the US, this is typically through a 401k plan, while in the UK, it's through a workplace pension scheme. In both cases, your contribution reduces your taxable income and your employer match is essentially free money. So contact your HR department if you're unsure whether you are enrolled or how much you are actually contributing. Step 5. Build a full emergency fund. Once you've eliminated high interest debt and secure your employer match, it's time to build a larger emergency fund. The goal here is to save between 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. This is not an arbitrary recommendation. It's widely advised by certified financial planners globally, and it is to protect you against unwanted financial shocks and to avoid going into debt during tough times. If your baseline expenses are about, say, $2,000 per month, aim to save about $6,000 to $12,000 in your emergency fund. This fund is your safety net during periods of job loss, illness, or other disruption. If you are self-employed or work in a volatile industry, well, consider saving even more, maybe up to 9 months of your expenses. Store this fund in the same high interest savings account you use for your quick buffer. Just make sure it remains easily accessible in case of emergencies. Step 6. Start investing in a tax advantage account. With your financial foundation in place, you can begin investing for long-term wealth. In the UK, use a stock and share ISA. In the US, start with a Roth IRA. Both allow you to grow your money without paying taxes on capital gains or dividends. Choose simple, low-cost investment like index funds or ETFs that track the S&P 500 or global market. According to historical data compiled by Morningstar and Vanguard and Fidelity and many other institutions, the S&P 500 has returned an average of about 10% annually over the last 50 years. Although past performance doesn't really guarantee future results, but that's a good place to start. You see, consistent contributions, even small ones, can compound significantly over time. So use platforms like Vanguard, Fidelity, or Trading 212. They allow you to invest small amounts and automate your contribution. Automating your investment helps you stay consistent and remove the emotions when investing. Step 7. Set aside money for fun and flexibility. You see, once you've covered your responsibilities and secured your future, allocate a percentage of your income to discretionary spending. This could be 10 to 20% of your take-home pay, depending on your financial situation. This step is important not just for lifestyle balance, but also for sustainability. A budget that allows for enjoyment is easier to stick to and helps avoid burnout. You see, knowing you have guilt-free spending money can make the discipline in other areas feel more rewarding. Studies have shown that budgeting for enjoyment actually improves financial satisfaction and reduces the likelihood of impulse purchases because spending is now intentional rather than reactive. Examples of fun spendings include dining out, weekend trips, or hobbies like photography and music. Use a separate account or a prepaid debit card to manage this category so you can avoid overspending. If there's one thing to take away from this, is that financial stability doesn't come from one big decision. It comes from small, consistent actions taken every time you get paid. By following this 7 steps, you will not only avoid the stress of living paycheck to paycheck, you will also build a system that automatically works in your favor. So here's my question for you. Which of these steps do you already follow, and which one will you start next? And if you find this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Also turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on my next video, because every week I break down money, financial markets, and how to protect your wealth. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.